Receive our friendly greetings, wherever you currently reside in the world. Thank you for responding to the appointment for further information on what to do in the event of natural disasters in Canada. Today's video will be dedicated to the flooding chapter in Canada. Information being essential, we invite all those who want to immigrate to Canada to subscribe to Canada Sans Frontière, in order to be sufficiently informed about the steps to take to always keep their heads above water. Let us ask you this question: where do you want to live in Canada? Be aware that some regions in Canada have a high risk of natural disasters. Knowing this earlier will save you from making certain fatal mistakes. To do this, simply subscribe to Canada Sans Frontière, and you will succeed in your immigration project in Canada by achieving all your objectives that you set for yourself at the start. Remember to lay out the video. Share this massively with your brothers and sisters, your friends, in short your loved ones, who are planning to immigrate to Canada. Leave your questions in the comment section, and we'll be happy to answer them. Floods in Canada. Floods are the most frequent natural hazard in Canada. They can occur at any time of the year and are most often caused by heavy rainfall, rapid melting of a thick snowpack, ice jams, or more rarely, the failure of a natural or man-made dam. Flood facts? A heavy rainfall can result in flooding, particularly when the ground is still frozen or already saturated from previous storms. Flash flooding, in which warning time is extremely limited, can be caused by hurricanes, violent storms, or dams breaking. Many Canadian rivers experience flooding at one time or another. The potential for flood damage is high where there is development on low-lying, flood-prone lands. Each province and territory responds to floods in cooperation with local authorities. In some cases, the federal government may be asked to assist. The majority of provinces and territories have information online on the flood situation in their area, as well as practical information for dealing with floods. The Government of Canada's Government Operations Centre, GOC, monitors the flood situation across the country. The GOC coordinates the federal government's response to events of national interest, such as floods, that may affect the safety and security of Canadians or critical infrastructure. Should a provincial or territorial government request assistance to deal with a flood, then the GOC would coordinate the Government of Canada response. The Government of Canada has disaster assistance programs available to respond to the financial needs of provinces and territories in the wake of major natural disasters, including the Disaster Financial Assistance Arrangements. Several other forms of assistance may be available, from both the federal, provincial, and territorial governments to address certain needs or to assist specific economic and social sectors affected by a disaster. Before a flood. Get preparing for a flood come to reduce the likelihood of flood damage. Therefore, you have to put weather protection sealant around basement windows and the base of ground level doors. Install the drainage for downspouts a sufficient distance from your residence to ensure that water moves away from the building. Consider installing a sump pump and zero reverse flow valves in basement floor drains. Do not store your important documents in the basement. Keep them at a higher level, protected from flood damage. If you have a livestock farm, remember that livestock have a natural move-away instinct to flash flood waters. They generally seek higher ground if possible. When purchasing or designing your livestock operation, It is important to allow livestock a way to reach high ground in each pasture. Without access, livestock will fight fences and be at a greater risk of drowning. Livestock will initially panic during flash floods. This complicates livestock handling. If a flood is forecast, you must turn off basement furnaces and the outside gas valve. Take special precautions to safeguard electrical, natural gas or propane heating equipment. If there is enough time, consult your electricity or fuel supplier for instructions on how to proceed. In floods, in a rural farm setting, sheltering livestock may be the wrong thing to do. Leaving animals unsheltered is preferable because floodwaters that inundate a barn could trap animals inside, causing them to drown. If evacuation of the animals is being considered, then evacuation procedures, places, and routes should be planned. Animal evacuation routes must not interfere with human evacuation routes. Alternate routes should be found in case the planned route is not accessible. Places where animals are to be taken should be decided in advance, and arrangements made with the owners of these places to accept the animals. If flooding is imminent, move furniture, electrical appliances and other belongings to floors above ground level. Remove toxic substances such as pesticides and insecticides from the flood area to prevent pollution. Remove toilet bowls and plug basement sewer drains and toilet connections with a wooden stopper. Disconnect eaves troughs if they are connected to the house sewer. In some cases, homes may be protected with sandbags or polyethylene barriers. This approach requires specific instructions from your local emergency officials. Do not attempt to shut off electricity if any water is present. Water and live electrical wires can be lethal. Leave your home immediately and do not return until authorities indicate it is safe to do so. During a flood, keep your radio on to find out what areas are affected, what roads are safe, where to go and what to do if the local emergency team asks you to leave your home. Keep your emergency kit close at hand, in a portable container such as a duffel bag, backpack, or suitcase with wheels. If you need to evacuate, vacate your home when you are advised to do so by local emergency authorities. Ignoring such a warning could jeopardize the safety of your family or those who might eventually have to come to your rescue. Take your emergency kit with you. Follow the routes specified by officials. Don't take shortcuts. They could lead you to a blocked or dangerous area. Make arrangements for pets. Time permitting, leave a note informing others when you left and where you went. If you have a mailbox, leave the note there. Never cross a flooded area. If you are on foot, fast water could sweep you away. If you are in a car, do not drive through floodwaters or underpasses. The water may be deeper than it looks and your car could get stuck or swept away by fast water. Avoid crossing bridges if the water is high and flowing quickly. If you are caught in fast rising waters and your car stalls, leave it and save yourself and your passengers. After a flood, restore your home to good order as soon as possible to protect your health and prevent further damage to the house and its contents. Before moving back in, once the floodwaters have receded, you must not live in your house until the regular water supply has been inspected and officially declared safe for use. Every flood-contaminated room has been thoroughly cleaned, disinfected and surface dried. All contaminated dishes and utensils have been thoroughly washed and disinfected, either by using boiling water or by using a sterilizing solution of 1 part chlorine bleach to 4 parts water. Rinse dishes and utensils thoroughly. Adequate toilet facilities are available. For more information, consult your local health authority. Re-entering your home. Do not return home until authorities have advised that it is safe to do so. If the main power switch was not turned off prior to flooding, do not re-enter your home until a qualified electrician has determined it is safe to do so. Use extreme caution when returning to your home after a flood. Appliances that may have been flooded pose a risk of shock or fire when turned on. Do not use any appliances, heating, pressure, or sewage system until electrical components have been thoroughly cleaned, dried, and inspected by a qualified electrician. The main electrical panel must be cleaned, dried, and tested by a qualified electrician to ensure that it is safe. Depending on where you live, your municipal or the provincial inspection authority is responsible for the permitting process required before your electric utility can reconnect power to your home. Make sure the building is structurally safe. Look for buckled walls or floors. Watch for holes in the floor, broken glass and other potentially dangerous debris. Flood water can be heavily contaminated with sewage and other pollutants. It can cause sickness and infections. If your house has been flooded and you have a well, don't drink the water. Have it tested first. Household items that have been flood damaged will have to be discarded according to local regulations. Store all valuable papers that have been damaged in a freezer until they are needed. After your cleanup, consult your lawyer to determine whether flood damage documents, or just the information in them, must be retained. Record details of flood damage by photograph or video, if possible. Register the amount of damage to your home with both your insurance agent and local municipality immediately. Maintain good hygiene during flood cleanup. Minimize contact with floodwater or anything that may have been in contact with it. Keep children away from contaminated areas during cleanup operations. For more information on practical health measures after a flood in Canada, simply subscribe to Canada Sans Frontière. Here is what we have to tell you about floods in Canada. See you in our next episode for more on what to do before, during and after other natural disasters in Canada. Thank you for watching the video, and especially for subscribing to Canada Sans Frontière to make your immigration project in Canada a success. Canada Sans Frontière, immigrate to Canada with confidence.